How y'all doing? It's Rob Burnham, here, Preacher Man R&B, and this is another episode of Richard TV 91. This time I'm doing another episode of movie reviews. This time I'm reviewing the Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. And it starts off with right after what left off with the Hobbit and the Battle of the Five Armies. And Gandalf is coming to the Shire and he meets up with Frodo. And Frodo and Gandalf go see Bilbo. Well, Gandalf knocks on the door and then Bilbo says the line that he says at the end of the Hobbit in the Battle of the Five Armies. And then Gandalf comes in. He's talking to Bilbo. He's convincing Bilbo to give the ring to Frodo. That way Bilbo would stop being tempted by it and go off and do his last little journey before he dies. And this is what Bilbo does, even though he doesn't want to do it at first. He finally gives in and gives the ring to Frodo, and then he goes to the land of the elves. Well, what happens is after this, Gandalf goes to see Saruman, and Saruman, if you remember in the Hobbit movies, he was good, but it showed seeds of him turning to the evil side, turning to Sauron, working for Sauron, and Saruman is full-blown evil in this movie, and Gandalf finds this out the hard way. He goes to try to get Saruman's help, and he finds out that he's been working for Sauron this whole time. Ever since they battled Sauron in the last movie of The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies, Saruman, Gandalf, and the Elf Witch fought off Sauron's evil race. I think the elves was the race. But anyway, the Wraiths show back up and they're hunting Frodo. And Frodo and Sam start to leave the Shire because they're supposed to meet Gandalf at this inn. And two other hobbits join them. Gimli, I think, is one of the names. I can't never remember the two hobbits' names. But anyway, they go to the tavern, and this is where they meet Aragorn. And Aragorn takes them to the City of the Elves. But before they get to the City of the Elves, the Wraiths catch up with Frodo, and Frodo winds up getting stabbed by one of their swords. This is now turning Frodo into a Wraith. So Aragorn and them have to give Frodo to the land of the Elves so he can be healed. And Aragorn's girlfriend, Elf, I can't remember. It starts with an A. I can't. It's Aerosmith, lead singer Aerosmith, Steven Tyler's daughter. Anyway, she is able to get away from the Wraiths with Frodo and take him to her elven father, who is the one that helped Gandalf and Saruman and the witch elf take on Sauron in the last Hobbit movie. Anyway, he is able to heal Frodo, and then they start the Fellowship of the Ring, and it is the dwarf Gimli, Legolas, who we met in the last two Hobbit movies, Aragorn, Boromir, I think that's how you say Sean Bean's character's name, and the hobbits and Gandalf. And they go and they come up on the tomb of the dwarves, and we see the dead bodies of some of the dwarves that was in the Hobbit movie. And this is where they run across some orcs and the Balrog. Now the Balrog comes and tries to kill the Fellowship of the Ring, but Gandalf sacrifices himself to the Balrog to save the others. And then they go off and are trying to get to Mordor. Boromir turns on Frodo trying to take the ring, and then Frodo leaves, and Aragorn lets Frodo leave to go to Mordor by himself. And Sam winds up following him behind Frodo, and they start traveling together toward Mordor. The other two hobbits get captured by orcs. Boromir winds up dying trying to save the other two hobbits, and then Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli are going to track down the other two hobbits and save them, and that's the end of the Fellowship of the Ring. My question for y'all is, now that Frodo and Sam is off toward Mordor, We're still happy with that. As always, Rob Burnham, make here Preacher Man R&B sign out. Guys, GG's awesome. Spin another episode of Richard Land Comments.